My grandma's Lucille. She is my favorite great-grandma. Great-grandma Lucille is awesome because she had over 100 great-grandchildren. I'm the 32nd great-grandchild. I got 100 cousins.
We had 11 children, just as my mother had 11 and her mother had 11. And I always kind of wanted a big family because I enjoyed growing up in one. But I didn't know whether he did. But finally, when I had number 6, I found out that I was pregnant again. And I went out and I told him, I said, "Oh, I'm pregnant again." And he looked at me and he said, "Well, if he turns out like the others, it'll be fine." So he was the one that was better about it than me. And about every time I got pregnant, at first I'd be grumpy a little while. But when the baby came, we accepted it and we just took what we got, I guess. Then we had 46 grandchildren, and then we have 101 great-grandchildren.
I think it's really cool to be a member of a huge family like this.
We've tried to leave each other alone as much as possible.
Well, it's kind of a standing joke around town. You know, either you're a Kester or Teal, and obviously Mom was a Teal, so we're kind of related to everybody. So it was a little tough trying to get a girlfriend because you're pretty much related to everybody.
I think there's a lot of little kids to watch as they run around and do the funny things that little kids all do. And there's always stuff to do with all my uncles and everything. Keeps it pretty fun.
I'm like 45 or 48 minutes older.
How'd that happen?
He came out first.
I remember going to church and 13 of us getting in a car to go to church. And invariably, it seemed like every once in a while we'd forget somebody at church.
Looking back, I feel like our parents didn't always know where we were, but we were with our cousins. There was gobs of us.
It just seemed like you could never get away with anything because there was always somebody watching you. There was just so many people around.
Worked during the day quite a bit and played a lot at night, games and different things. We could have our own baseball games and stuff.
I guess I knew nothing different. I had a lot of cousins. We loved going to the river and going swimming.
When Dad would come in the summertime and say, "You can go to the river as soon as you get the hog shed cleaned," we should have killed each other with the pitchforks and tying forks hauling stuff out of there. It didn't take very long.
Basically, in the summertime, the brothers and I, when we were old enough, we lived at the river fishing and swimming.
Just help and do certain things. We probably started too young. First time I drove a tractor, I was 5.
We're not real big farmers, according to some, but between the other 4 brothers and I, we've probably got about 200 or 2,200 acres of real crop.
You know, there's definitely good and bad. I mean, being able to farm together, we can share all the equipment.
There's quite a little arguing goes on back and forth because everybody wants to do it their way.
Oh, it's good, but it's bad sometimes.
We're both kind of hard-headed and think we know it all, And the only good thing is he likes doing more of the farming and I like doing probably more of the ranching. And
It's something I enjoy. I don't like being cooped up and stuff. I'd rather be out. No matter what the weather is, I'd rather be outside and doing something as be sitting inside. And the wife's glad when I leave too. Sometimes.
And I'm so glad that we did chores and we milked cows.
it's a deal where around here you work for what you got.
She's nice makes us cakes around our birthdays. They're really good. I would like to bake awesome cakes like Grandma Lucille.
Grandma taught me how to make cakes, you know. I share that joy and with her. There's a lot of work put into cakes and a lot of love in each and every one of them.
And we'd make cakes together. I didn't get to do it a whole lot, but when I did get to do it, it was so fun just sitting there watching her because she was so particular.
Mom's cooking was very good, and I know she knows. I know. I've always, I've told my wife that too, which was a bad mistake.
And after school, she usually had something baked, and we could often smell warm bread baking or chocolate chip cookies, and we always enjoyed that snack after school.
The rolls she made, the buns, were extremely good with her choke cherry jelly. That was always my favorite.
Grandma was always known for her homemade buns and cinnamon rolls, cookies, and she was always known to have bubble gum in her purse, just the plain double bubble. And whenever we saw her here, we'd always run in for a piece of bubble gum.
My grandma Lucille always gives me bubble gum. Grandma Lucille gives me bubble gum at church and stuff at the Willows.
Hey, I'm serious. Quit licking them. Quit licking them, okay?
She gave me bubble gum.
But she always told you if she found any wrappers on the ground that you weren't allowed to have any more.
And growing up, I always remember my mom being a very hard worker. She would go out and milk cows in the morning and then come in and make sure we were ready for school.
She'd clean 10 or 12 chickens before anybody else got out of bed. We'd have chicken for dinner.
We had to say grace before we could take any chicken or any food off of any kind. And when we said amen, the chicken plate was empty that fast. If you didn't get what you wanted for chicken, there's no sense in moping about it. You just try faster the next time.
I can never remember having leftovers. You know, we never ate until we were full. We ate till it was gone.
Going out to the hay field in the evening and taking supper to Dad or the uncles or my brothers, either on the ground or put the end gate down on the pickup, and it's one of the best feasts you'll ever have because it's all home cooking, farm wives, and great food. The kids all jump in the river and we sit around and chat. A lot of them go fishing.
She teaches me that God's always with me.
Lessons I've learned is to always follow your faith and always believe in your faith and keep your faith strong.
When each grandchild and now great-grandchild makes their first communion, Grandpa Harold and Grandma Lucille always gave us a rosary. And it's something that we'll have forever.
She was an inspiration for church.
And I actually helped her teach GCD one year, and that was really fun.
I remember my first communion. Grandma was singing us this song, and we'd have to answer back.
Cassidy, do you love Jesus?
Oh yes, I love Jesus.
Do you really love Jesus?
Yes, I really love Jesus.
Tell me why you love Jesus.
This is why I love Jesus, because he first loved me.
A lot of times if we're at a family party or something, Grandma will be looking around at all the grandkids and the great-grandkids running around, and she'll just kind of comment to us, look what Harold and I started.
Their marriage was like a rock for all of us kids.
She showed us that number one, you need to respect others
and that you deserve to be respected.
Grandpa and Grandma always taught us to respect everyone, whether you got along or you didn't.
And to get respect back, you need to be respectful.
Right on,
Well, I know as in my old age I'd be awfully lonesome without anybody, and somebody to, I feel that I can expect somebody to care for me some, although sometimes they get a little bossy with me now, so that isn't good probably.
It was probably pretty hard because my mom complains about having 5 kids.
She got up before everybody else. She made their suppers, made their breakfast, still did the milking, you know, taught CCD for years upon years, you know, and still raised a great family, you know, and that is something to be said for her, because not a lot of people could do that and be sane.
I hope my kids take from having this large family that, because we do get along. Not that we don't fight day to day, but just that in the end, we all love each other, and that's all that matters. We're going to go through hard times. You're going to fight. You're going to say things you don't mean, but in the end, we're all a family, and we all love each other.
We love you, Grandma.